checkers and pleasers. How are we doing today? Welcome to our show Checkpoint, the show where we discuss and discern the current events of the most recent episode of Check Please. Today we are discussing Check Please episode 32. I would like to welcome our lovely members today. I am Keni, your fortunate host. Foaly, that way, as my co-host, I always forget, hungry for fleshed out answers.
Om nom nom, hello.
Xeno, our swamp witch swarm monger.
Hey.
Grem, our robot master and beloved gnome.
Yo.
Beardy, our beloved DM daddy. That way.
Surrounded by people, I'm in the bottom middle. I don't know what's gonna happen.
And Skrewy, our rock hard holy man. May he rest in peace.
Pour one out.
Pour one
Press
out.
F to pay respect.
X in the chat.
F's
Or
in the
X
chat.
to doubt that he's actually dead.
Oh, Petra boy, the pipes are calling.
Does that just mean you have to go to the bathroom?
The pipes do
Yeah,
belong.
that's what that means. Yep.
It does now.
Yeah.
It does now. Okay, good.
That's actually a very good place to start, though, because Petra died. Beardy, did you always plan or intend for Petra to die in the pit?
It was always a possibility. Was it my intention? No, but it was always a possibility. So it's something I had planned could happen. Because anytime you make an NPC as strong as Cassius, you never know what's going to happen. All sorts of things can go wrong from that. So it's, yeah, it was not unexpected. I'll say that.
Okay.
And that must have been pretty damn rough. Skrewy,
How
yet
you
again
feeling?
portraying a character dying, but also first, it wasn't going to your death with the support and love of the rest of the party and praying to Eden and so forth. It was getting the absolute shit kicked out of you, not just physically, but verbally. How are you doing as a player having
By
to
your own
sustain
brother.
all of that?
Oh, okay. So having a brother, a lot of the back and forth was kind of true to life. Not like not the sentence exactly, but the
banter.
my brother is very witty, and I am not. I'm not very quick, and unfortunately, I just get tongue-tied and flustercated, and I normally ended up beating my brother up. I got so frustrated.
Is this an older or a younger
in this
brother?
case, I both got flustered and got my ass kicked. So
Younger or
Difference-
older brother in
difference-
real life?
We're not going to answer that question.
And the way that's the way it is. It was rough, to say the least. To everything I was throwing at him, just even not 20s, just nope, just bing. And I didn't know I was going into it at the time. I didn't know I was going into it against a level 20, and I do apologize. One moment.
Well, we'll come back to it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Petravian getting the shit
We'll
kicked out of
circle.
him. There's plenty to talk about there.
My
Let's talk a little
apologies.
bit about... No worries, Skrewy. Let's talk a little bit about your opponent, though, about Cassius.
Cassius.
Oh God, yes.
Who I, for months, have been saying Cassius, because of course I had to make all the cards and stuff.
I was still saying it.
That's
Cassius.
Yeah, Cassius is not wrong.
Cassius is the accurate one. I've been saying Cassius now just because I'm thinking Cassius Clay, Muhammad
Yeah,
Ali,
likewise.
fighter.
How
That's
am I
why
supposed to
I've
say
been
his
calling
name?
him Cassius is to avoid associating with the Cassiuses I know.
Both of them are acceptable
Just
pronunciations.
tell me, Daddy, which one's right? Which one do I say?
Cassius.
Oh God.
Cassius!
I'm just going to call him Cashin.
He's Cash.
That was a friend
Cash
of mine.
impact.
Cash money.
So, pronunciation of his name aside, Beardy, what was your intention for him? How long ago did you start developing him as Petravian's brother? Was he always gonna end up facing Petravian in the arena, or did you need a gladiator when you got closer to Proto and sort of decided to join the two together? What's the genesis there of him as the brother and him as the gladiator?
Sure. So I knew the character existed from the creation of Petravian as a character. When we made Petravian as a character, I knew that I wanted there to be some living, like, blood relation relative of this character still left, based on the initial background of Petravian's story. So that's when I knew the character should have existed, and then it was just a matter of finding the opportune story beat to add that character in for it makes sense and moves the story forward. So having that character still living in Oxidor made sense, and being in Proto was perfect for it. So I knew that it was going to be in the role that it's currently in, probably early season 2. I would say just a couple episodes in, I kind of had an idea of where I wanted Cassius to be. And if you really want, like, the complete accurate pronunciation for the word, I would go with Cassius. But I'm also going to get lazy and call him Cassius from time to time. So
Which
that's
is fine.
That's
I mean,
fine. Either one is
reasonable.
acceptable.
You call. I'm Michael and Mike.
No one calls you that.
It's a natural kind of.
No one calls
I'm
it
looking
that.
at-
So you
one's-
had this within the first couple of episodes of season 2, and then a few months went by, and we found out in series, or at least Petravian found out, hey, I have a brother out there, a long lost brother. Don't know if he's an Oread or not. Find out later he's an Oread. And a couple of months ago, Keni, you mentioned you started working on the art.
Yeah, I think it was several months ago. This has been in the works for a while. So I think I drew him back in November when I was doing the Halloween special.
Okay.
Wait,
And
October.
then had to sit on it for 3 months.
Yeah.
God, way to play that all close to the chest.
Seriously.
Jeez.
I
Very well done.
am an advanced player of Pathfinder.
Built different.
Yeah.
Built stupid.
Well,
I will
I'm just
note.
built wrong.
I wanted to note
No,
something.
that was first generation Petravian.
Kenny, what's up?
That I know Riz's spell, Discern Next of Kin, was able to find Petravian's brother because of how the spell works. And I find it very funny because Soul Strings wouldn't have found him because Petravian didn't know about him or feel any love towards him. And I wanted to make a note of that because I've been thinking about it for months. There was no reason to bring it up until now, but just of note, I think it's very interesting how some spells work better than Soul's actual power. It's just
And
food for
it's a
thought.
development that could only have taken place in season 2, not
I
in season 1.
know.
Interesting. So obviously these were held quite close to the chest, these secrets, resulting in some wonderful expressions from Skrewy as we had reaction after reaction to his appearance.
Yes.
Say a little bit about that, Skrewy, because
Okay,
as
so
he's
it
being
started with-
described...
It started with the character coming out. Hearing that the character was that Petravian was bound. So I thought, okay, he's bound. He's not allowed to continue on. So he has to wait till the next day. So, who am I going to find next? But it was just instead of waiting till the next day, it was right in. So that was a happy surprise for me. Then it was, as they were being described, I was just getting more and more excited for the event. And then before we saw any art on the screen, I have the stream on the other hand, and I saw, as the pictures were cycling through, I saw the beard. And I just was so tickled and a little bit kind of green with envy. Just like, oh, he has a full head of hair. He has a beard.
He doesn't have to cast a spell for the beard, it's just natural.
Just natural. And that's that. And being follicularly challenged, it's also a like.
I mean, it's your own fault for not designing your character with a beard at this point.
At some point I will, but
You're like, oh
That'd be a
no.
little too on the nose, don't you think?
No, it'd be on the chin. And below the
Yeah,
nose.
that would be a mustache otherwise,
Yeah.
that's what you're thinking of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I see that you've got yours growing in there, Skrewy, so nice.
Well, if no, I shaved it this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
he got shaved. I can
Yeah, I
tell.
shit.
shaved
It's
it off
looking
the
good.
Oh, you're six-fingered man already, I see.
Yeah.
That's exactly. It was a Princess Bride. It was a Wesley look.
It was a Wesley look. Yeah, but it holding child. They were not. I couldn't hold child because they kept getting all fussy with the prickles into
You
their.
don't look like my
stuff,
father.
No. She's grabbing my hair. I'm
Yeah,
just going, yeah.
that's what babies
So-
do.
Yeah.
So obviously the description of this newcomer was quite a surprise to you, and obviously the art was a surprise to all of us. But the other big surprise was the fact that your brother was not going to be an NPC in this episode, but in fact was going to be our first guest player
Yeah.
character.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And suddenly Silverquill appears. What was everyone's reactions to that?
Oh,
I
Silver-
knew.
Fucking
Silverquill
incredible.
is so good. Just so witty,
so
so on point. Oh,
He was given an assignment and he understood it and he took it to a level that I think really worked in his favor for making the character his own.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I was
Let's
like,
talk about his assignment there. At what point, Beardy, and it sounds like Keni as well, at what point was the
Oh.
decision made, okay, we want Silverquill for this character, we want to bring him in as our first guest PC. What was that process like of giving him that brief and the development of Cassius as Silverquill was playing him?
Did we decide that in the summer?
Yeah, we decided that about a year ago.
Wow.
No, not quite. Like 9 months
Half a
ago.
year ago, yeah.
Yeah. So it was about 9 months ago. It was last summer. We had decided that we wanted Silverquill to come back as a guest. We just needed to find the right role for him. And then, I was writing for what was going to happen in season 2, and I'm like, okay, cool. He really fits in this role for Cassius. And I approached Silverquill, or I forget who initially approached Silverquill.
You
So
did,
we're-
because I said
yeah.
it was your job as the DM.
Yeah, and that's fair. So, anyway, yeah, he voiced interest in the whole thing, and then the way I have the campaign outline written is each section of the campaign is corresponds to an alphabetical letter. So, currently we're in part K. If anybody gives a damn about the overall
very good
trajectory
letter.
of the story. So
the
we're in
K
part
stands
K.
for Killing Petravian.
K stands for Killing Petravian. That's right. So, K, and then it also has like a subtitle. So this is K, also known as the Road to Proto, or Onward to Proto was the name of the section.
Leaving
So-
an impact on Proto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Well, the story, like I knew that Silverquill was going to need to play Cassius at the end of part K, basically. And normally these parts only take like 1, maybe 2 sessions to get through an alphabetical part of the story. We're currently on part K, session 9 was the last one. So this is our 9th session for this one part of the campaign. Part K has drug on so long at this point. And this whole time, I keep like messaging Silverquill. I'm like, yeah, it'll just be a couple more weeks, man. And then I'll message him again and be like, just a couple more weeks.
Oh no.
And then we took some time off in December and some time off in January. And I'm like, it's a little more time. So like, I've basically like been
Strung
pressing the snooze button on this guy for like 3 months, and
Oh,
I feel like a
no.
total asshole. But then finally we got to the right point, and luckily the schedules worked out just right. That yeah, boom, he was there, and then he absolutely knocked it out. So it worked out really, really well.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I didn't chime in a minute ago because I was asking the question, but yeah, I was blown away by how well he fit into the character and how brutal he was to you, Skrewy.
my God.
I
I didn't think he was actually that brutal. I think
He
he was
didn't pull his
holding back.
punches. You
Quite a
think-
bit.
Physically, yeah, I don't think he was
Physically,
that
yes.
brutal.
Oh, I think you're talking.
Oh no, he was
like,
holding back physically, certainly, but the sick burns.
Oh no, the burns were
Yeah, he was-
devastating.
Oh no,
Like,
that was amazing.
like I was
Yeah.
afraid
Yeah.
for Vera to interact with Cassius at all because like I'm just gonna get destroyed by Silver Quill. Like once again, not with attacks, just like he's gonna say something. We're like, I don't fucking know.
Man,
What to
I'm
say to
just-
that.
I'm sad I couldn't match wits with him. That's my one thing I'm sad about the episode is I couldn't actually interact with that character because I was like, ooh, this is right up Riz's alley for like verbal combat. Yes. And and we're getting arrested.
But Skrewy, I got to give you props though for hanging in there with that very long and brutal
Well,
encounter
okay,
and
here's
the
thing.
verbal barrage. You're a good
so-
sport for that.
Let's just say that the past 2 campaigns have just been leading up, have been practice and leading up to this situation.
Oh, we call it murder.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
It was training. It was training.
Verbal murder.
Leading up to this situation being the getting killed part.
Emotionally,
I'm sorry.
just
I would
absolutely
argue
decimated.
that by the very nature of D&D, it was training on both fronts.
Yeah. But he has just. I mean, he's Silver Quill, but man has a silver tongue. Good lord.
And
Yeah.
interestingly, it wasn't purposeless.
No, that was too. He wasn't
Banter.
just shit talking.
It was very much supporting that dynamic.
The gladiatorial.
Yeah, he was committed to getting Petravian to a certain point of self-admittance. Seemingly, that was my read on the situation. What did other people react? How did other people react to his particular taunts, but also his demands on Petravian to be more honest about his reasons?
I don't think Petravian was listening. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying like he heard the words, but I don't think he fully registered what Cassius was trying to tell him.
I think he did by the end there.
Yeah, but he was dead by then.
Yeah, it was like in his final moments kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm.
But I do also think that I thought it was really fascinating because it really summed to like an amazingly natural conclusion to everything that Petra has been going through up to this point. It
Mhm.
very much felt like all of the shit Petra has dealt with from monsters, from the other party members, from us as players, has been leading up to this moment. When
And you
died.
held your own. As much as one can against a level 20 barbarian
Yeah.
with a silver tongue and a fucking great big dripping
Beard.
green and black energy axe with a name that strikes terror into the heart such that I can't actually remember what the name was.
Darkblade?
Dark Fang? Dark Fang. Oof.
Was close.
And then the spear had a specific name too, I believe.
Yeah, the Pilum. What was
Yeah.
that? What was the name of that Pilum?
That one I
It
vaguely
was a
remember, but
weird
it's not-
spelling that I
Just the
don't think
name,
I can
that's all I remember.
pronounce.
What they
The
stand
big
for.
pointy stick thing.
It was an actual word and not a combination of 2 simpler, dumber words. So
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to
I'm not
remember
smart enough for that shit. So fuck it.
Yeah, I will say that a lot of Petravian's dialogue in response was mostly just like a joke phrase saying like, "Oh, I see why you're retired." Like, he's
He's literally
you, man.
destroying you, and you're joking now. You might wanna actually talk to him, my dude.
Yeah, but he's not begging for his life though, and he's not.
No.
It was an honourable
that would
and
have been worse
respectful
for him.
end.
That would have been worse for him to beg.
And
Well,
it
I
seemed
didn't
like
think
at the
you
end there
should
was a
beg.
mutual respect, actually. It seemed like he wasn't prepared to kill you until
But it would be very human.
Oh my god.
there was...
It was like a lion playing with his meat. Just.
I don't know. I
don't think it was that
didn't
bad.
take it that way. I didn't take it as
No,
him. I mean, he
I
was
mean, he was
toying with him
very
a little
gentle.
bit for the crowd, but at the same time, he was
He
trying
was
to push
doing
Petravian to a realization before killing him.
Non-lethal. So
Yeah.
long. Like, that boy knew he could kill you in an instant and was like, no.
I think that's because he did.
But
I think kids he did on the first
but-
attack.
I mean, we brought up the Nat 20s before. God, there were so many goddamn crits last
How does
night.
it feel
I
to
was
get
in
your comeuppets,
disbelief.
Mr. Nat 20 taker?
Yeah, the dice.
Okay,
the
I'll
dice
see, the
turned
thing
on
is,
you.
I still had my regular
Nat 20s,
ratio
yeah.
of nat 20s.
But now someone matched
Yeah.
your beats.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I rolled a 2, 3, 4, and a 12.
Yeah, I think your highest
Yeah.
roll was a 12 last night.
Right.
Good, congratulations, Xeno.
Thank
Just
you.
Silver Quill, I think, rolled at least one critical hit in every full attack.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that
Well, I mean,
happened.
he has a
Fucking
10%
raw.
chance, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
his-
only got 4 attacks, which is a lot, but it's the 10% chance is not like 4 attacks.
And yet his last perfect roll, his last nat 20, was that amazingly serendipitously timed roll where it works against him, really.
Oh god, that was so good. That was some
you
straight up Iliad shit, you know, like
Yeah. The moment he sees this person splayed out on the ground dead in front of him is the moment he realizes that it's his own family.
wasn't it
Hmm.
Plato or Homer who said that like the greatest tragedy a man can face is causing the death of his own family? Or something like that.
Yeah. Man,
Doesn't
there's
ring a bell,
some,
but it sounds apt. It sounds accurate for this situation, certainly.
I'm sure I'm paraphrasing. Paraphrasing the paraphrase.
But
But,
also, we did skip over one thing that was Petravian killing a wyvern at the beginning.
That's true. He just
That is
bashes
true.
the shit out of that thing.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
How
Which
that,
not everyone could do.
how was the high point of the episode for Skrewy before the roller coaster?
I had something I wanted to say, which would have been, "Are you not entertained?"
Oh, I'm glad you
About to
didn't.
say
Well,
it.
I'm really glad you didn't.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really
Oh,
glad you
really?
didn't. Yeah.
I was really hoping you would.
I was really hoping you would as
I
well,
wanted to say it,
actually.
but it seemed like a very appropriate thing for him to be like,
Well, okay, I was hoping Cassius would. When it looked like he was gonna kill you, I was hoping he would say that afterwards. Like, but I was also it wouldn't have fit the moment when it actually came
Mm-mm.
around.
Well,
So-
one thing I'm grateful, I feel, character-wise, is that Petravian maybe not necessarily earned his respect, but maybe right at the end when he came toe to toe and said, "Let's not accepting of death, but accepting of who he is and where he was failing and all his failures and everything,
Mhm.
but still faced it."
I guess it would be if Petravian, if we are able to get you back, which is what our plan is now. Is Petravian gonna learn from that? That's something that's gonna be in his mind now.
Curious to see. You poured a whole jar full of jelly down his throat, and I'm
Honey.
curious. Honey, sorry. Would it be royal honey? Royal honey. I'm curious to see what's that gonna do to him.
So,
I mean, he might be alive and just bees from now on.
for my own sake, could you explain royal honey? Is that like a real life thing? Because I definitely have heard that phrase before, but I don't actually understand it, Xeno.
Well, in
I
this
only know of
case,
it from Futurama, so yeah, please.
I only know it from like kink stuff.
in this case, this is honey that comes from the font of Mellifera that is basically comprised of the faith of her worshippers. So this is magically, divinely infused honey.
This seems like some shit that was saved for Vera, frankly.
So
Like-
what distinguishes it from the honey that was taken for the that gave the language abilities, or just the honey
Oh.
that?
Oh shit!
I-
Melly gave that to us.
I assume it's probably the same kind of stuff. It
Okay.
just has different properties, like, and what it's needed for.
Magic.
And there's a lot of
That's
things that
pretty
this
low.
stuff can do. It can both enhance, it can corrupt. It's potently powerful natural magic.
I'm honestly wondering if Petra is gonna come back as like the manifested champion of Mellifera.
Ooh. Which would complicate his relationship with Eden and Sol, mind you.
And
I
Vera,
mean,
for
probably
that
not
matter.
Soul.
Also true.
because as much as I'm sure Vera would be happy and supportive of that, she's worked really hard for that spot for a very, very long time.
No, she's still the High Druid.
Yeah, and Vera don't
Well,
care
yeah.
where she is.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
that
she's like,
placement.
my god's alive. I'm happy.
Yeah, she already completed what she needs to
Yeah.
do. Now she just needs to make sure that the world is safe so that she can just help the community.
So if Petra became like maybe not High Druid but High Priest by de facto from this,
Yeah, if
then there wouldn't
Petravian
be any
comes-
sort of like jealousy or anything.
No,
I
I
mean,
they're
see
all-
you
they're all-
grinning and everything
He
over there,
becomes the,
Beardy.
uh,
I'm just
yeah,
wondering.
becomes the new leader of the Melliferaran faith.
They're all
And
equal.
suddenly
Yeah, it's all
Vera's
like about
less-
equality, so...
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like Vera is the one who decides everything. She runs it
Mhm.
past people. She runs it past
Right.
the community.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true, right? And
And-
that's what I figured is that
Yeah.
because it's a very socially based thing, I can see where it
Mhm.
wouldn't necessarily be an issue.
it's a
But
very
I mean,
flat
it's also,
organization.
there's also the reality that Vera is in many levels more powerful than basically everybody else in the hive,
Mhm.
and has special recognition for it. So I didn't know if that's valuable to her or not.
I mean, I think she enjoys like the power because it lets her complete stuff for the hive, but it's
Right.
not something that's matters to her in a hierarchy.
Right.
It's
if
more of,
somebody else
I-
showed up that was more powerful, can do more things with the hive, she'd be like, awesome, good.
Yeah, great.
See, I would see Petra. Let's say Petra does, if he did come more powerful than Vera, he wouldn't
Which-
want to assume any sort of leadership role. He would be, I'm here
Well-
to fight for the hive and everybody who can't fight for themselves. So he is more the
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna say my gut feeling because obviously I don't know Beardy.
Mhm.
Beardy's notes. I know Beardy though.
I have notes. Oh God.
You
Oh,
have
no.
thoughts that you
Beardy
stick
doesn't
in
know his
your
notes
head,
either.
and they're like notes in your head. Anyways, I have a feeling this is more of a champion situation
Right.
because Petravian probably wouldn't want to be a leader in any sense, but also because that's not Vera's duty either, and I think that makes the most sense for something like that. And on the other case, for some reason, y'all think this will affect Soul's relationship, and it won't.
Because there is no
I mean-
relationship.
Who's y'all?
Well, they also don't want Petravian to, like, worship them. They just want Petravian to spread it, yo.
Yeah.
So there's, like, no hard feelings if Petravian became, like, all Mellifera, because Vera's literally already said, sure, I'll help out. So, really set, really feeling confident in where I stand. So, no, Soul wouldn't be upset with this in any way. They'd be a little confused because they haven't been fully clued in on everything, obviously. They'd be like, what the fuck is happening back there? Whatever.
So, anything else we want to say about the action taking place within the arena between Petravian and Cassius, or between Skrewy and Silver Quill?
It was like 150 damage, like
Oof,
for those crits, and
Yeah.
it was like
I mean,
55
level
to
20
hit.
barbarian.
There
That's
was
what
some-
I want to say.
Yeah.
It was nuts. That was horrifying to watch.
The dice betrayed you. Your dice, your crit dice,
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
they really
Well,
do.
when do they start giving? That's what I
Yeah.
want to know.
It was
Oh,
so
and
good making
I-
the art for this one. I really enjoyed that.
The art was superb, so shout out.
Thank
obviously.
you.
Kudos, Kenny.
I don't remember if I said it during campaign or if we said it after the game of like how I was designing him. One, I actually
Oh, yeah.
I used a reference of, I believe, a Roman statue for his pose very specifically because I wanted to get his nose correct. And then I wanted to do a bunch of masculine things that I thought Skrewy would be into. Like a beard and really ripped muscles and stuff like that. Really masculine macho things that I could think of to design this dude.
The face with eyebrows.
I'm very grateful that Silver didn't go with like the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Well,
kind of
I
thing.
don't think
That
we would have
I'm
allowed him
grateful.
to.
No.
Because of course this was a prompt for him. Like, he still got to make his own character in a way, but we still had this prepared. I would have vetoed that immediately.
I mean,
Right.
it's still a great
Like,
interpretation. It's still, better than it needed to be.
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
huge
like-
props to Silver Quill for
Yeah,
definitely taking
seriously.
the character and making it his own.
I hate
And
it.
like, I'm hesitant. Like, okay, so given that when we were between seasons and we were doing auditions and we had character trials and we were doing a campaign in a different setting, so like setting wasn't important as much, but we had people creating their own characters for that,
Mhm.
and as opposed to giving them a prompt this time. And so this is the first time we did a prompt for somebody, and so it's the first example that we have of it. But that still said, I was so pleased as peaches to hear how like well he'd read up on the lore, even if it was just whatever you guys had given him. The fact that he'd clearly read it ahead of time, internalized it, and made it part of the character, and not been in the middle of the session like, who's my god again?
Right?
He may even
Oh
have
my
gone
God,
to the
yeah.
wiki, shameless plug.
Wiki.
Really though.
No, he did a phenomenal job. Now, we mentioned that Cassius was ripped, so how's this for a segue? Cassius wasn't the only thing to get ripped
Oh,
in
buddy!
this episode.
I
What
did
the
something
flip
bad.
happened with Riz? Yeah.
It keeps happening to your characters, Keni.
I know, I keep breaking my insides. I don't...
Like-
It's fucking weird, right?
I can't wait for it to happen next season too.
My poor boy.
Hopefully you just get abs. They'll get ripped that way.
Oh, he's not though. He's too soft. He's not gonna
Work
get
on it.
abs ever.
Well, you
Magic
got
abs.
your insides
Magic
ripped trying to do that little time spell, and apparently the Arcani are pretty handy with their own sort of weird time-affecting spells. But you also got a ticking off, a telling off rather, from presumably Bella, although I don't
Oh,
know that
yeah.
that was actually confirmed.
Oh, I'm very much so sure that's Bella. But Beardy, you can confirm or deny.
Yeah, that was Bella.
Yeah.
Bella
Okay.
was like, "Don't come into my house and
Disrespect me.
mess up." Because I mean, even Cassius said it. Like, this is the temple of Bella, basically. These grounds, this combat arena, this is the holy place of my god. So like that is the most holy place for Bella, is the place where strength meets strength, and the victors dominate and the weak perish.
So
That is her
Question.
holy ground.
if Vera had like fought Cassius, would that still be fine with Bella, since it'd still be the strong fighting strong thing, or
I mean, the city wouldn't have been okay with that, because you're just some random
Fuck.
person that showed up
Fuck
to
the
try
city.
to get into the. I mean, would Bella have hated you? No. Like, the god has no interest in who fights there. It's just the important thing is that the people are fighting there.
Yeah.
Right. Is that there's tests of strength and power and prowess. Would you have beaten Cassius? No. No, I can't imagine you would have been able to beat him.
no?
Damn.
know.
From all the times
feel
that
like
Varys
Vera-
turned into a bee and destroyed us in the battle royales we do,
Hmm.
Yeah, but
I don't know, I feel
Cassius
like
had a
there's-
lot of
Skill set's really good for that sort of fight, though.
sure.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like,
But like,
I-
who's to say he's not going to clap his hands hard, like really hard together, and shoot a shockwave out and just stun every single bee in that
that is
swarm?
technically an AOE.
I mean, it's something that I wouldn't.
Not if I'm up high enough though. But yeah,
Well,
we
Vera
can
had
just
to get
we can
into
just recreate the battle royales. I'll be 40 feet up in the air and drop my
All right.
hands like a motherfucker.
Creeping doom, creeping doom, creeping doom.
But yeah,
Well, you had to get into the stadium, into the arena first, and to do that, have you busted out Lightning Storm before outside of the battle royales? Because I can't recall having seen it.
I have at least twice.
Okay, man, my memory being full of holes, but
I think you did when we were
Ice worms.
fighting.
I know.
Oh, ice worms. I wasn't sure if you did it against the giant slime.
No.
No, that was a firestorm, I think.
Yes, that did
Okay.
Jack.
in any case, this had some consequences, unexpected ones, in that between that, Kurla's sending spell, and Riz trying to mess around with time, the Arcanii apparently could detect that we were using magic.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa,
not sure
whoa, whoa,
necessarily-
wait a minute. I didn't do a spell, though.
Yes, you
Nope.
did. You tried to turn back time.
That's not a spell
So?
for me.
Is it not?
No! That's just part of Riz being a person.
So
That's like a cantrip or something?
it's like a feat.
No.
It's a class feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they wouldn't have picked up on that necessarily. Or at
Mm-mm.
all.
No.
I was scot-free originally.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So it was in fact just Vera and Kurla who brought down the Arcanii.
Yeah.
Which it was definitely because there's so many times in the campaign where I want Vera to do something, but I fight against it because I'm like, if I was this character, I wouldn't do this because it'd be stupid and terrible. And most of the time, I just like don't do it. Like, I'm just like, we'll just forget about it. But I was like, no, Vera would get angrier and angrier, and eventually that is what triggers her lightning storms. So
I mean, I think that I was gonna say I was a player, but I think Levette as well, for that matter. Even though she was like urging Vera to cut it out, I was kind of touched by that still, like that she was getting that mad seeing Petra get his shit kicked.
That means Vera extremely cares about Petra.
Like
He just
you know,
doesn't
I'm
like understand Vera's version of caring as much.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it doesn't come through. I mean, like, it's never been in question, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't come through. Sometimes it seems kind of like a very, I want to say, like, Spartan attitude towards it. Like, Petra's my brother, and I protect him, but if he fucks up and dies, then that's on him. But it wasn't that way at all.
I'm actually for Levette, I'm actually surprised that you didn't bust out Archie in that
oh,
situation.
that'd be so bad.
No, I feel like that's the consequence of getting Archie stolen, maybe. So I don't think Levette would risk Archie one bit.
Well, that could have happened if there wasn't the force barrier that kept us
Yeah.
from throwing things in the ring. Then she would have thrown him down there. But there was no way to get him to save you. Like, it would have just been useless and got us in trouble.
Jeez, watching Archie go after Cassius.
Kind of want to watch that still. Kind of want to see that happen.
See,
Yeah, somewhere in an alt
I
universe.
don't think you
we
want to
have
see that
happening.
happen.
if
Look,
Wait, no, really?
lose that fight. I just want to see how close it'll get. Numerically
you
speaking. What's
Kenny,
that?
you had something. What's up?
oh, I was gonna say if that barrier wasn't up, I was gonna say fuck it all and dimension door into the fucking arena
Yeah.
because it involves sight, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure there's magic over this though, so that's why I had Vera check. One, it's not technically a spell because it's just an item. Two, it's not me casting it.
Well, Vera managed to get around
was
that
being
barrier
tapped.
pretty nicely. After the lightning storm, losing control, storming down there, and you got to bring out the mask.
I did.
How was that? What was that like,
yeah,
Xeno?
that was nice. I didn't do good on rolling, but it was nice. Because I've been waiting to get that thing out for a while, but I'm happy to see it be used later on more, because I think it's a really cool addition.
You had the bad luck of busting out the scary mask against one of the few other people to also be wearing a scary mask.
Yeah. Man, but none of our
Yeah.
characters have seen this yet, so I'm so excited
That's
for
true.
us as characters to see this eventually. Like, oh, that's even more exciting because it's like there's all this build up to this.
I also did enjoy just walking through the person. It was like,
That
say
was
stop.
badass.
It's just-
Fuck off.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it was a little bit fun that you get this really powerful magic item that does a massive bonus to intimidate. You slap it on the first time and you roll a 4.
It's one above the average.
It is.
so-
One above your average, yeah.
I'm so sorry, Xeno.
But you know what?
I feel your pain.
But I absolutely adored that the people were watching the bee swarm and they were like, I'm not fucking with that. I don't know what's happening here. Fuck that.
Fuck bees. Am I right?
Beardy, I appreciate that you allowed things to flow if they wouldn't necessarily work mechanically, but it just as a natural it worked story-wise very well.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, this was meant to be more of a narrative combat
Mhm.
than an actual test of who had the stronger character, because there's not much of a test there.
You know,
It's not a
and
balanced
also
fight. It was never
tied
meant to be
that-
one.
Sorry, didn't
Go ahead.
To pour on the praise a little more,
Oh,
man,
no.
Silver Quill does such a good job with the his combat descriptions.
Mhm.
They were fantastic. I was personally inspired by a lot of that.
Yeah, I was taking a lot of mental notes for like future
Yeah.
stuff.
I was like, playing martial classes, I think, requires a certain extra level of improv to really make them fun and interesting. And for someone to just kind of step in and bust that out immediately was just a joy to watch.
He'd obviously given a lot of thought to an imagination to the character and exactly just what you could do with someone of this bulk and strength.
Yeah.
Like slamming poor Petra into a pillar.
Throwing a deer at us.
Throwing a deer at us, which was a lovely moment. Oh, poor Archie. So
Chisel.
Vera... I beg your pardon, poor Chisel.
Poor Archie
Poor
too,
Archie.
but he's just not involved in today's episode.
This is true. So Vera makes it into the catacombs, or the I shouldn't say catacombs, the underground passageways and rooms beneath the Colosseum, and makes it out, unfortunately, just in time to see Petra dying for the third or fourth time, but the final time, at least in this session. Petra, Skrewy, how was that for you? That we talked about it a little bit earlier, but that death scene.
It was perfect. For Petra, I couldn't have asked for a better death for him. Quite honestly, it falls in his character style, and if he is rezzed, he'll grow. It's something to grow from, but if it inspires other things, I am happy with that death.
Well, that's 2 for 2. 2 perfect deaths for your characters.
I mean,
silver lining.
It's silver lining on that, written by a Silver Quill. So, I came into this episode fully anticipating Petra dying, just prepared for him for a rescue or death. And I was pretty much leaning towards him dying this episode. So I kind of took the time to mentally prepare for that. I wasn't prepared for Vera to come in at the last second and turn me into bees.
So
Complicates
good.
this.
And then the eventual ramifications of that decision, which, I mean, you asked, hey, are you okay with this? It's like, I understood where you were, and I very much appreciate you asking. As a character, he's dead at that time. There was nothing I could. There was.
Nope.
You do you. You do exactly what Vera would do.
I actually had messaged Beardy while we were playing this, and I was like, do I ask Skrewy to step away from the table since he's dead and unconscious and wouldn't be aware of any of this?
I mean, I'm not gonna.
I will.
Reinforce.
When I die, I will step away from the table.
Oh, you'll be on the
Okay.
ground.
Yeah, I'll be
So-
Yeah, I
dead,
was
so...
Yeah.
I'll be
Just lay down on
screaming
the floor.
probably.
I do want to say, though, I really was very pleased with how it worked out that Curler got pinched and it was Vera who made it in there to administer that honey, because it makes it a hell of a lot more interesting in terms of, well, what's going to happen next with Petravian turning into bees and being dead, maybe, or bees or something, versus just, okay, here's some diamond dust, I'm going to bring you back to life like that. Which
Speaking
I
of,
probably wouldn't have done as Curler because that's not interesting story-wise. But
And
I'm
also
glad
because
that I
it
didn't have to
probably
figure out a way
would've
around that, because it didn't work out that way.
speaking of diamond dust, though, I got to use
Sorry.
a spell that I've been waiting for ever. That was it Ironclad Armor?
Yeah, only for your beneficiary of that buff to die in the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did save 40 damage off the attack.
Yeah, like it didn't negate the attack, it just overpowered it.
Yeah,
Or, I
just
mean, the spell,
yeah, Dark Fang just does so much damage that you shaved 40 damage off the attack and it still took him to negative 60.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it is a powerful character with an incredibly good arsenal of weaponry.
And Grem, you mentioned Xeno playing Vera as getting more and more upset and losing control as they saw their sibling in the hive getting the shit kicked out of them. And then having Vera right there trying her best to save Petra, and Petra dying anyway. I really appreciated how you played that, Xeno, how distraught.
Thank you.
And pledged to vengeance. I mean, Finger of Death was what came out next immediately.
Of course.
And it just Finger of
Ouch.
Death, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it did a little.
Yeah, I mean, it could do more if he had failed to save.
Now, what is his fortitude? Is there even a chance of my swarms poisoning Cassius?
No, he has high enough fortitude that he's outside of the range of your swarm's poison hurting him.
Shit.
He could have technically failed that Finger of Death save, but it would have been incredibly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
And his actual hit point score is beyond anything you guys have ever seen. So
Unquantifiable.
it is quantifiable. It's just like the most HP in your guys' party is what, Archie at like 160 or something like that.
I don't think Archie actually has the most. I'm pretty sure Archie has less than me.
So this was a no-win scenario by design in any case.
Well, yeah, no, you guys were never meant to beat Cassius. But Cassius also was never meant to kill Petravian. So, like I said, it was something that was possible but not as likely, and it just sort of worked out that way.
So any other thoughts on Petravian's death or Vera's reaction? Do you know any comments you wanted to make there?
I'll add something after with the what we do different. Otherwise,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, we can come back to that. Yeah, go ahead, Grem.
B thing also I think is really fascinating too, because what you were saying about if it roles had reversed and Kurla had gone down there, they probably would have resurrected Petra just for the Proteans to be like, no, it's a death sentence. Kill him again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why Kurla probably wouldn't have done it then and there, but it would have still been, I think, far less narratively satisfying, and it wouldn't have set up this, well, what the hell do we do now to bring back Petravian? Now he's bees, which is going to be really interesting going into the next few episodes.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to find out what the ramifications of that are going to be.
So, after Petravian had passed on, though, Chisel just kind of faded into the ether, and we got a little hint that he didn't return to his doe friend.
Oh, poor Chisel.
Now, my question is, does that mean Chisel does not exist anymore, or rather that Chisel has gone to Petravian, where he's gone off to? And I'm curious about that, but I don't know if we'll see that soon or not.
Will we ever know? Chisel doesn't speak. Do I need to
Oh
make an
no,
ad
I
for
just want to
Chisel
make
too?
sure that he lives at some point. I'm like, I just want to know if Chisel died, I guess.
Chisel's the only character who's going to get a good ending. Out
I
of the
sure
season.
fucking
the only
hope
one who's going to be
so.
happy.
He
They deserve
deserves
to be
that
happy.
dough.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Archie gets a good ending.
I think
Our-
this
our-
subplot has been funny.
Look, we'll have happy endings for all of our party feature character or class feature characters. All the actual characters.
Horse
get
gets a
fucked.
happy ending. Right, guys?
Is Horse a class feature?
Yes.
I mean, Chisel has an intelligence score, so he could have a happy ending.
In any case,
I didn't do it as a predicate.
Yeah.
we talked as well about what Cassius did in that moment, in having that flashback to their childhood and realizing that Petravian actually was their brother, and being kind of distraught and storming off, and who knows whether or not we'll see Cassius again. But meanwhile, yes, Riz not responsible for bringing down the Arcanii, and Levette not responsible, but yes, Kurla and Vera managed to drop us in it as a party.
What spell
Sorry.
did Curly use?
I
Remind
used
me.
Curler used Sending, although Curler also
Oh.
lied and tried to say that they were just using a healing spell, which they had got approval from the Border Patrol to use. But
Nah, they'd
Arcani
be able
weren't
to
buying that
tell.
shit.
Well, not just that. They can totally tell from our Gias's what we did.
I took a chance on it, them buying it, and they weren't going to buy it. Because, of course, we
Yeah.
needed to be somewhere else by that point. It was kind of clear, hey, Petra's dead. We're kind of now moving off somewhere else to see what's going to happen next.
I don't think it was
So-
clear yet until you had gotten arrested.
At that point. But something interesting happened once I got pinched, in that I kind of gave Riz the side-eye, come help me, please. And Riz came and helped,
Yep.
which was really
Got
touching to me.
arrested too.
See,
Sorry?
the thing was,
Yeah, I did.
I was just gonna be like, hey, this is my friend. I don't know what they did. They might not. I was speaking honestly because I was like, Riz does not actually know what Curla talked about.
Right.
So that's completely truth on their end.
That's what I was hoping for.
But then you said I was a fucking local?
But you had the cultural adaptation, so I thought my thinking, and Carola's thinking, was that you could pass as one. That was the whole point. I didn't realize they were going to be able to check, but of course they had the gear, so yeah.
And I
Carola
saw my
wasn't
doom
thinking
then.
straight in that moment, and I wasn't thinking straight in that moment.
I was
Let's
so
be
mad because
honest,
I was
though.
like, I had planned everything out so I didn't technically break any rules, and I got dragged down anyways. Fuck!
Well, let's be honest, you would have been pulled there one way or another.
Yeah, but at
But
least
I'm-
it could have been of my own doing.
I'm sorry, but at the same time, I am touched that you
I-
didn't just. Oh, I don't know
wanted
this
to go
person.
out guns blazing, god damn it.
I mean,
Lightning
like,
bolt, lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if it hadn't been there, it might have been. I don't know if this would have been considered a problem, but if you had been hit by my haste later on, that might have also gotten them mad at you by proxy. They'd be like, "You're under the effect of a haste spell. That's not okay."
Yeah, see, the thing is, if I hadn't gotten captured at that time, I was actually gonna, like, grab Levette's hand and be like, come on, my child, let's go find the entrance of this place and fuck things up with Vera. She's very fast, okay? We have to catch up.
Really.
Had Curla, beg your pardon, had Riz not come to Curla's aid, I don't know that Curla would have gone quietly,
Mm-hmm.
which could have really sent things off. I mean, as a player, I don't think I would have tried to kick off violence, because that, with a party split, would have been a huge no-no, but
I think it could have been interesting.
they could have been interesting. They would have been more belligerent, I think.
You've been the one
had-
at risk in that situation, I think. So that would have been your call to make.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to have ruined your fun there with Riz sidestepping
I was
the
so
questions.
mad.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kenny.
I was like, I can get out of here. I'll just check that Curl is okay. God fucking damn.
Oh,
Sorry.
and you know what? And Vera didn't murder anyone today, so that's a plus.
And you
Not
weren't the
true.
first to get
No.
arrested either.
In fact,
Again.
for
you
lack of
unmurdered
trying.
someone.
That's well, define. I turned a dead body into bees. I don't know what that
Yeah.
quantifies as.
I mean, I would think in Vera's book that's as hard of an unmurdering as you can get.
Yeah.
You made one person into many.
True.
In any
big.
case, one way or another, we all ended up getting pinched by the coppers. Time did some weird shit, and we end up in, of all places, a really nice, palatial, opulent villa. Wasn't expecting that. Reactions? What do people make of that rather sudden shift in location?
I wasn't obviously expecting anything specific, but I honestly felt like there was a 50-50 shot that we were going to be in a dungeon or somewhere just
Yeah.
cozy.
Oh yeah, I was
Useful.
prepared to be in a
Yeah.
magic prison.
In the dungeon? With mage. I was waiting for the mage fucking cuffs because I was like, oh, I remember this from when Alec was arrested. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Didn't get him.
I was wondering if they were going to try something like that with me, and I was going to try and figure out how to continue operating my gauntlet or hide my gauntlet. I was like,
Yeah.
I got a special secret way to do magic.
I do it
Y'all
with
were
my
looking
nose.
forward to being in the dungeon, handcuffed. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm-
Take notes.
Actually, I spent a lot of that session being like, "Oh fuck, is it Levette and Archie trying to break everybody out of jail? This sounds terrifying but awesome."
Just
think
go-
at one
just go
point I did
kaiju.
say to Kenny, right, our fortunes are all in Levette's hands at this point. This could be interesting.
I
'Cause
said, nah, I think we're supposed to get arrested.
I
Yeah.
would have been down to see how Levette tried to break us out, although they
Well,
would have ended up pinched too. Sorry, Xeno, what was that?
Oh no, Grem, you were gonna say something?
frankly, I'd been going through a lot of different plans in my head, and while I'm still annoyed with myself for getting busted early, they all involved casting a spell at some point, so it wouldn't work out.
See, I'm curious as to what beans were spilled, since you guys don't know what from the time that you were taken to the time that you woke up. What did they pry anything out of you? All that kind of stuff.
The thing is, I don't know about that, but I have a feeling that we were set in like a perpetual like stasis. Yeah. And then this guy was like, "Here's money. Give people, please. Give."
They make me laugh.
They're
please,
funny.
Please bring to me.
Look how weird their faces are.
I will be interested to learn how much time has passed, because I didn't take note of how much time had passed. But I'm also, now that you bring that up, Skrewy, interested to know what Petravian might have spilled to the Arcanii when he was being interrogated, and what now, as a result, this new NPC knows about each of the party members. Let's talk about this new NPC, Faustus Tarquinius. Did he have another name in there, Beardy? I think I
Emilius.
missed it. Emilius.
Middle name Emilius.
Faustus Emilius
Faustus
Tarquinius.
Emilius Tarquinius.
And again, Tarquin, love it. Thank you. I'll
Duck.
blather about that on the wiki. What did people make of this? Because we all had several different reactions to seeing the image and hearing the description.
Bitch looks like a person from Papers, Please. A fat motherfucker from Dune. I can't wait to get his money, but I don't know if I can.
Hedonism bot.
Yeah, I'm so ready to interact with this character. I'm so excited. Something about him.
He seems to be chaotic, which is good, because most of us like chaos.
What are you talking about?
I think he has so much money that he's looking for entertainment wherever it can come, and he's bored, so...
Probably.
Well, I'm suspicious of him because he's like fascinating all of us, and from my perspective, I'm like, well, that hasn't really done much since we got to Proto for him to be interested, which tells me he knows more than just what went on in the city. Maybe not. I mean, we did get all arrested for casting spells as foreigners, but given the setting, that doesn't feel that uncommon.
I wonder what signing our names to that paper did.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or backing off of what Curla was saying, is that what if Petra spilled the beans about everybody, and this guy knew you were there and was just waiting for the opportunity?
But even then, I don't know. Like,
We
what
hadn't
kind
done
of
anything
like what's
yet.
got his interest? We haven't done. It's like some of us fuck shit up real bad.
yeah, Vera
and,
did
and
mostly.
clearly made
Excuse
it
me.
a scene and made things interesting.
Mm.
But a lot of us didn't do anything, and he's still very interested in us. So that tells me that he knows more than just what went on.
Obviously, we
and-
came in as a group. We've stayed as a group. So something's up with us, at least on that end.
It's true, but we did split up at the end there.
Well, we don't know how far back his information goes or what the stretch of his information is. Obviously, he's powerful enough to buy the freedom of these chaps from the Arcanii, which was however much money it was to construct a new wing of their headquarters. So this guy does not worry about throwing his money around. So really, there's nothing he might not know about us at this point.
Bezos money.
I will say
Terrifying.
the thing I'm most interested is the fact that he basically said that Petravian is not dead.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said you're trying to help your friend in the arena.
Yes.
I think that was past tense.
He did not use past tense during that.
Okay.
He stated as if he was still alive, so
No,
that's what I'm interested in.
It's going to be interesting dealing with him because, as you said, Grem, the fact that he is chaotic and the fact that he is obsessed with entertainment, it means he can turn on a dime against us if he decides that it would be more entertaining for him to pit us against each other.
Oh no, that's definitely not like someone who's traveling with you.
I'm excited to interact. Well, I mean, I'm mixed about interacting with this character because, frankly, I feel like it's very having this powerful, not first as far as we can tell, business figure, non-political figure, is more up Levette's wheelhouse. She knows how to talk to these people and how to create a mutually beneficial relationship. But she's kind of off the heels of a lot of trauma right now, and I don't know if that's gonna work out.
I can talk money. I can talk a lot of money. Oh my
My
god.
thought was once again, I wish we had that damn cursed penny. Just to cut this down to size a little bit.
Maybe,
then
but
I can't
that
get
might also spend all of the goodwill that we are about to receive. Because, like, this guy could be. I mean, I'm still suspicious because he knows so much and because he helped us
I'm so interested.
very expensively for no reason, seemingly. But
And
you know, that could be the end of it. That even if it turns out to be for, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like alternative reasons. Even if his motives aren't necessarily aligned with ours, it could still be something where he just helps us out a bunch because of some shit that he wants that doesn't get in our way at all.
it will. I'm sad that we have to wait several weeks before we find out the next thing from
That's
hedonism.
true. I haven't announced it yet, but we're gonna be off for 2 weeks before our next game.
F in the
And
chat.
we haven't told anyone in Proto yet why we're there. Like, really, we haven't been specific about it. Even at the border, we weren't really specific about it.
Oh,
We said information.
yeah, but
Yeah, but we didn't talk about the Deadlands,
Yeah.
that whole business. And I'm really curious about that because something that's been in my mind for a long time is that Kintao, as far as I understand it, is a lot closer to the Deadlands than Proto. So I feel like they're going to be like, I've been holding it back because I feel like they're going to be like, let it. This sounds great. They're going to go, that thing's going to eat our enemies, our ancient enemy, and then we can just laugh at them.
You think the Proteans are going to think that because of the
Yeah.
Kintau's proximity? Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
If they're
I agree
aware
with
that it's happened.
at the
Well,
s-
yeah, which is why we haven't told them yet, or I haven't told them yet, because I'm like,
Right,
they're going to make it
Petravian.
worse.
yeah, you didn't tell anyone about the Deadlands, right?
When you were having the shit kicked out of you?
So one thing that happened is while he was incarcerated, they extracted a lot of information out of him via divination magic. They were pulling memories out of him, all kinds of things. So they have a full dossier on Petravian at this point, which includes a lot of information on the rest of the party and the situation in the East.
Okay,
So
well,
it's safe to assume that those in power in the know in Proto may already know about these things.
Great, they know about my curses. Awesome.
And
That's
part of-
Also-
so
Oh,
good.
part of Vera's backstory too.
Yeah.
Also, they do have a fairly robust spy network of their own, so
Oh
it's
my
not
god,
inconceivable.
spies?
it's not
Tell me
inconceivable
more.
that they would have
Mhm.
their own methods of knowing these things on their own.
maybe, but I didn't know if they'd have the interest. They seem very, or maybe not isolationist, but self-interested.
Yeah, they're very self-interested. That's an excellent way to put it.
But we have been
Yeah.
making a splash in several places enough to get an entire signed form for people to say who we are in the Protean Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, no, Vera needs to get Petra back because Petra's the only one that has Vera's backstory.
that's true. And he hasn't shared it with anyone else who could help him. You know, the 3 people who have the best fucking history and whatever checks.
And
Can go down so much easier. If you just tell us.
Yeah, but it's never been a. Not saying it's never a good time. Just
You were
narrative
evil and you didn't tell me.
I will say that I fucked up in telling you why Vera didn't tell you about.
That's true.
I fucked up there. Because Petravian was angry at Vera until I told you it was because they cared about, people leaving.
The instance Xeno is referring to is when Vera talked to Kurla about their backstory.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just a
So, sorry, say that again, because I'm...
circle in.
no, that's too Skrewy.
It was too screwy.
Yeah, it's directed at Skrewy.
Is the reason that Xeno is upset that he told all of us why Vera would talk to Kurla compared to the other characters that she's been traveling with, because he
Because it seems
thinks
to
that it
affect
affected
Petra's-
Skrewy's playing Petra and being like, oh, I'm not upset anymore.
Because
Gotcha.
before that, Petravian was literally yelling at the rest of the party about this stuff, like, how could she do this?
Mm-hmm.
She's ruined me.
So one
I
thing
could
that
be angry again if you'd like.
It's too late.
Yeah, now she
Yeah, they
brought
You're
back
dead.
her life
Off and-
to ease.
One thing that I thought was interesting is that this really rich guy, rather than doing like the more traditional thing of like, oh, you help me and I'll help you, like you work for me and I'll give you something you want.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he was like, hey, I found out who you guys are. Here, have a thing that you guys want.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, but that's something so tantalizing to me. I want to know more about this fucking NPC.
Who you find hot?
No, I meant Faustus.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the gift that was
He
given.
hasn't talked yet. I can't tell if he's hot yet.
He's gonna have, like, a
People's
dagger.
personalities are the hottest part about them. So it's, I don't know if he's hot yet, but like something about Faustus is so incredibly curious to me because he's so weird. And the thing is, he's right on the border of Detlef, so I'm trying to figure out if I hate him or not.
But Detlef is completely trustworthy, so
We
That's
haven't yet
not why
seen
I
that
hate
level
Detlef.
Faustus in the
Have we
same
got
room.
his full
so...
name? Is
Yeah.
his name not Detlevis Faustus? Oh wait, we did get his full name.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
his full name.
Detlevius Tarquinius.
He gives his full name, but I go by Detlef.
yes.
I mean, the fact that he gave us something for free is, in my books, a reason to be suspicious. Like,
Yeah, right?
Mm.
You know,
But at the
it's,
same time, I
don't
want to
wanna be
play
unappreciative.
along.
like, you know,
it's-
you don't get that rich by giving shit away for free. Let's just put it that way. And
Yeah,
it-
but
it
now that
seems to
he
me if
is
he's
that
willing to
rich,
give
he
us-
can.
Yeah, but also if he's willing to front a reward like that, then he. I mean,
That's
I would
that's
be
not
willing
his.
to believe-
That's
well,
not
that's
his.
my point. I know.
That's
what I
not
was
his
gonna say.
reward.
I'm sure there's more to it. That's what I was about to say.
But
is
at
that
the
I'm
same
sure
time-
there's probably more reward coming, and I bet that it's very lucrative for us. But also, to give us something up front like that means that he'll probably want something in return that is like comparably huge that would justify that.
At the same time, we don't know if he was born into money, though. Because, like, as much as you said
Maybe.
that's not how you make money, but at the same time, people who are born into money normally don't have to make it. It's just kind of already coming into them.
Well, you do have to make money to become the richest person in the biggest city in the world. Like, if you get born into that, and if you don't know how to keep it, you lose it and stop being the richest by the time you're that age.
Yeah, but he's probably used tactics like this before, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
It will
I'm
be-
sure you
Ready
do.
for it.
It'll be very interesting to explore his motivations and get a better sense of just what his game is.
Creepy fat man. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
So it's fun to play this high stakes sort of game that we're doing now, so that's exciting.
Plus more
I-
NPCs.
Yeah, plus more NPCs that may or may not be hot. And I will be very curious to find out his reasons for bringing out Kurla's father,
He
the aforementioned possibly hot NPC.
he thinks it's a present.
Well, does he?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like he did.
Well, I mean, a present, but it's got strings attached, is my point. And I'm interested to
Mhm.
know what those strings are. I agree with Levette that he's not giving away something for free, and it's not something as basic as, well, here's an extension of my trust. I don't
mean-
think he's an Ambaxius type guy. Do I mean Ambaxius? No,
Yeah.
I mean his boss.
No, you mean
Dursulus.
Well,
Dursulus, yeah.
Sh-
Yeah, I
ship-
definitely don't
ship
think
all
he's
the
on a level as much as Dursulus. That's kind of where, like, he doesn't necessarily register to me as an enemy, but I don't think he's on the level in the same way that Dursulus was. He's just too rich, you know? It happens. Money corrupts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, of
That's-
course not.
Ridiculous.
It would be crazy to have like a personal journey centered around that or something.
Yeah.
There is
Mhm.
a lovely William Gibson line where there is a character looking into the eyes of another character who is extremely wealthy, and the line is something to the effect of that the person looking looked into those subtly inhuman eyes and with a certain mammalian instinct realized that the very rich were no longer even remotely human. Words to that effect, in that they are not constrained by the same rules and laws and mores as everyone else, which makes for a character who is it makes for a character who is chaotic and just obsessed with being entertained, and who we may or may not be able to trust, and whose motives we can't even begin to guess at right now. Who's given me back my father, which is also going to be just I'm excited to see how that goes, because I
got to pick out the picture for him.
Well done on that.
Beardy was like, here's a bunch of orcs. I didn't know what the prompt was ahead of time, but I just posted one. I was like, I like this one.
It's gonna be meeting him at this point in the arc versus like in Palayana or prior to Palayana, especially with all of the shit that they have slowly realized about the fact that orcs aren't anywhere near as bad as what they were told, just how much of their childhood was. It's just going to be fascinating. I'm really excited to play that and see how he fits into this bigger story. What his role is, what the hell he's doing there, and how he came to be captured by.
Well, congratulations to Kurla's dad. You found your child. Yeah, your journey's over, my dude.
He did it.
I can stab him now.
Why?
See, I was joking when I was talking about stabbing the mother, but the father.
Why?
But why? But why, though?
You seem to be. Kurla seemed so inclined to find their father.
And then it's like, oh, I want to kill him now?
Finding him to kill him?
I can't recall having said that they were interested in finding him for positive reasons.
Yeah, at the end of the whole arc at the village.
Right, but they've had a lot of time on the road since then to think about that.
Oh,
and it was
okay.
it was their mother who was saying that, he deserved forgiveness more than she did. I think, in fact, I know that Kurla's gone back and forth on that quite a bit. I'm not gonna fucking stab him, but it's not gonna be a, warm,
No, it's just
cuddly...
gonna surprise everyone probably and just be like, oh, well, I guess this happened.
No, it will...
I mean, maybe you will stab him. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
Fucking stab him if you want to stab him. I'll grab the popcorn.
In Kurla's mind, it's not gonna be a positive reunion in the same way that it was with her mum.
Damn, I thought we were searching for something important.
It is important. It's, oh my god.
Like, maybe the first words we're going to get out of Kurla's dad are like, oh, great, this gross little thing, or some shit like that.
And then we can kill him. If he shows he's like an asshole, we can kill him. But until
Kurla
then...
has more issues to work out with him first.
Yes, killing him will definitely be the solution.
Before there is any sort of resolution. I'm not actually going to kill him. That was a joke.
We're teasing.
I mean, if you need some stuff to air out, then the knife wounds are a perfect way to let the air all out.
I'll non-lethally stab him, and then we'll have a conversation, and then I'll stab him some more. 27 times in the chest. It's all planned out. Anyway.
Julius Caesar was like a 14th level fighter. Based on the average damage from a stab wound and how many times he was stabbed before he died.
Oh my god, seriously?
Yeah.
This has been worked out.
He's about a 14th level fighter.
What makes you sure he wasn't like a 20th level wizard in a world without magic?
Because no one ever saw him cast spells, so...
Yeah, it's a world without magic.
But he took too much damage as a wizard.
But a max level wizard has some... I mean, Levette's got like 100 some HP.
You're not a wizard!
But
speaking of, I went ahead and looked at the HP values, so I have all those totals for you. Interestingly enough, we were all wrong about who had the most HP in the party.
Yeah.
So, just to quickly go through this, it is lowest is Riz at 98. Then
still in the 90s.
Levette at 112.
Oh, it's on the wiki, isn't it?
But then again,
Kurla
Levette has like 600 or something because of the
I
RNG
have an
bullshit.
effective pool
we're
of
getting there.
260.
Just
So-
let him say it.
Kurla at 117. Then Vera at 137.
It's gonna be
Then
Chisel.
Travian at 149. Then Archie at 160. and Chisel
Yes.
sitting at the
Oh my
top with
God.
171 hit points.
Jeez.
Standing.
Holy shit.
And just
That's
in
beefy.
case you're all curious,
I wish his like combat hit as hard as how much HP he has.
yeah, he's a sponge for damage. But here's the thing: in case anyone is truly curious, Cassius's maximum HP. I said Chisel was at 171. Really fucking good. Cassius's HP is 440.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
God.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
it's like a
he's-
dragon.
Yeah, barbarians.
Yeah,
my dude.
he's like a world ahead of you guys on hit points. So
That's more than my
disgusting. You know
what?
total
I'm just-
pool.
I'm just gonna be
Oh.
glad to get to 100 by the end of the season.
yeah,
Also-
you're almost there.
I just
but he's only
realized.
like 5 levels more than us.
Yeah, he's also
Yeah.
a barbarian with
Barbarian.
incredibly high
Barbarian.
constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get more hit points than everyone else.
barbarians get ridiculous amounts of hit points.
We did
Yeah.
skip something that happened in the episode, though.
Hmm.
And that was Petravian turning invisible and leaving Chisel there.
Reese's in
Or
pieces,
just,
my dude.
Just running constantly and trying to run away and
Like-
being called out for it. It was all beautiful.
I find it so
yeah,
interesting that you called Chisel first before trying like a spell on him. Like, yes, Chisel will help me.
I do. So I don't want to like single you out, but I do really genuinely wonder what was the plan with summoning Chisel.
We were going to be mobile.
So you're gonna run away?
No, just running and pot-shotting him.
Cavalry tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Un-
I guess that makes sense. I was
Unfortunately, this barbarian can run faster than like 3 horses combined.
Yeah, he's faster than Chisel by a lot. So.
Well, that
Would-
segues
would-
nicely into the
Or
last
flanking.
question, which was could we have done differently throughout the episode?
Which I'll point out real quick. You guys did not have to get arrested. There were multiple avenues to get you to that villa to end the session.
Hmm.
Being arrested was only just
The
the most
easiest?
convenient one after you guys
Oh.
started casting spells.
well. Now you
think-
tell me.
I think this was. I think this was the most interesting way things could have gone.
Hmm.
And the most expensive for Faustus. God, you made us spend a lot of money for this now.
Oh,
How much did he spend? Do we get to know?
well, I'm learning to spend money too, so both of us learned the lesson. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe you can pay him back.
So, anyways, what could we have done differently, or what would we have done differently?
I already said what I would have done differently.
Not cast haste. I mean, the alternate version for me would have been following Cassius to the temple and talking with him there, which I kind of want to do because I like if we were told that we could hear what was going on in the arena, so I figured that Levette is privy to his internal conflict about the whole situation and kind of like where Vera is furious with Cassius and like, oh, I want to fucking kill him. Levette's like, maybe we should give him a chance, let him talk. But so she wanted to go see his side of things and see if he would actually be willing to help. But then he walked real fast and she couldn't float fast enough. I'm just like imagine him speed walking through the crowd just straight to the temple. I have no
think of
idea how
anything
it
I
would
would
come
do
across
differently
possible.
other than not calling Chisel.
Yeah, I mean, anything you'd have done differently probably wouldn't have changed how things
Yeah.
turned out for you a whole lot.
Yeah. The only way that fight would have turned out differently is had Cassius made a will save earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly what I had planned because it was a coin flip, right? It's a 50-50 shot. And I assumed that you wouldn't get like 4 or 5 tails in a row to have the fight go that way, but it was a possibility. And that's
Didn't
what
we
happened.
have like everyone roll nat 1 like in a row once?
Oh yeah, I
Didn't
can't
that
remember
happen?
what episode that was though.
But
Yeah.
I will say that when Vera was at Petravian and I cast the Ironclad skin, I was trying to figure out between 3 actions to take that I could have done, and I chose the wrong one for having Petravian survive. It was either heal, which may have let him survive that, Ironclad, or doing the Swarm skin, which would have made him survive. But I was hoping to see, like, I was expecting him to still be doing non-lethal because that's what he's been doing the entire time. So I didn't know he was going to do a full killing blow. So probably would have done Swarm Skin if I had like expected.
I think
that.
he just couldn't. I think it was simply a matter of the player not being able to justify the character holding back anymore.
Yeah.
He'd been holding back for so long.
I wouldn't have dropped Riz in it with the cops. I would have kept my mouth shut. And I am sorry about that, Kenny. And Riz doesn't love Curler anymore.
What, you thought they loved you?
Platonically, in a friendship sort of way.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Gotcha.
they were making some connection there.
Oh.
Single tear. Single tear.
In the arms of
I just still can't believe I got goaded into the fucking spell.
You want to do haste? You can probably get there with haste.
I know. There was
Haste.
something on. I was like, "There's something fishy about the way he's saying that," and I was like, I'm not gonna lie and say that I was thinking actively, like, "Oh, well, other people casted spells and they were fine," but that definitely was sitting in the back of my mind of like, I'm not still clear what the criteria is, but I don't think Beardy would say that just to fuck. What am I doing? Of course he did.
This is why we have trust issues.
But I'm really glad that I was totally. I'm glad that they let me be compliant. I thought that they were gonna just be too real, I guess, and just assume that I'm resisting.
And just have nightsticks out and just.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that they were, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go with you, and they were like, oh, hey, you can go through the portal.
Yeah, here you go, my dude. Let's go. You want some treats? Like airplane food? We only have airplane food. It's just crackers and bags and pretzels.
Cookies?
No cookies.
Yeah, you can't even have peanuts.
Obviously.
We had the Feast of Faustus going on there, though, so I mean, you might have some nice snacks on that table. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
true.
Can someone explain this Faustus interest to me already? What is the reference?
Well, Faustus, in traditional folklore, sold his soul for knowledge or information or power, depending on the version. But interestingly, the intermediary to whom he sold his soul was a certain little person named Mephistopheles.
Well, gee golly gosh. That doesn't sound strange at all.
As for Tarquinius,
Yeah, what is
it's the
this?
name of the first rulers of Rome when Rome was founded and was a
It
kingdom.
was inherited.
And then they were overthrown, and the Roman Republic was formed until that was overthrown and became a dictatorship and empire. But the Tarquin kings, as they are
Tarquin
known.
duck.
And the reference I dropped was to a poem about the Tarquins and
Gotcha. I just
martial
feel so
glory and
left
so
out
forth.
when these things happen. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
They're not
Makes me feel
exactly well known,
stupid.
though. I mean, you know them if you're a huge history guy like Beardy, or a huge classics nerd like me.
Yeah.
I just
and
want to
I
get
thought-
included.
References.
I just
puns.
want to get included.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I thought it was the guy who ran the Death Star, so you know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
fucking
thought.
Tarkin.
Tarkin, which
Yeah.
you know, it works.
I mean, Beardy can throw in Star Wars shit. It's his world. I don't care.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah,
I
let's
know.
go.
can't wait to
No.
find Boba Fett.
I mean, I understand.
No, that's.
That's me.
Maybe next season.
Ooh.
Mm.
Was there anything you would have done differently, Beardy?
Good
No.
question.
No.
No. I mean, aside from like. I mean, somehow found a few extra days in the week to prep. Just. But that's about it.
Don't think it would have been necessary.
Invent
It was
time. I need a time chamber where I can just go inside and close the door and just have infinite time to
Hyperbolic
work
time
on
Well,
chamber.
things.
good news is we're on
Yeah.
vacation for 2 weeks, so
That's
you'll have
basically a
plenty of
hyperbolic
time.
time chamber.
Yeah,
You'll
except
have
that's
plenty of
gonna.
time for the next week.
Would
Yeah.
it be 3 weeks? So we're not this this
Need to
week.
train
That's
to get stronger.
the end of that. So you got 3 weeks.
No, the next time we are playing is the 5th.
5th. I mean.
So the next weekend we are off is the 19th.
Oh.
Then the
Yeah.
26th.
So 3 weeks.
You mean to
One,
prep,
two.
not off.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next 2 sessions that would normally be scheduled are off. So
That's
we'll
correct.
be back. We'll be back in 3 weeks.
So more than 2 players will be gone during that time. So that's why we'll be gone during that time. Fuck. Okay. So
Yeah.
we will still have a regularly scheduled episode on the 5th of March, however. Ooh, start of spring, yay. And then we should be going pretty strong for the majority of that month in general. So, is there any ending words anyone has?
Well, I mean, I'm just happy because it means that by that point I'll be able to go to Jolly's.
It's an in-town thing for those who do not understand
That
what
is
Beardy
it.
just said.
That is a reference that literally no one will understand. It's
I
fine.
actually
I'm just happy that I'll be able to get chili dogs that are good.
You're gonna get your jollies.
I actually do have a question because we're talking about like the Tarkus, whatever, dinner, and then I was thinking about the Last Supper painting, and why are they all on the same fucking side?
Why they eat
Someone
on the
was on
same
the other
side?
side and they farted.
Do they not want to look at each other? Is that
No.
the
They just
issue?
had one long bench.
Yeah, why did
The other side.
they
The
have
other
second
side still exists.
The other side's
Right.
the serving side, right? Like it's where
No.
you go get the food in
Is
the
it
kitchen, you
buffet
bring
style?
it. Mm-hmm.
Dude, like half of them were standing. There was no reason.
I stand by my original response. That someone farted, they all moved to that side.
Because nobody was passing anything, so they
That's
had
why
to
they all
stand
look
up and reach.
uncomfortable. Got it.
But I will also like to end that I really enjoyed Skrewy's joke for the at least I finally left an impact on Proto. I actually laughed out loud for that, so thank you.
I'm sorry. But
I was glad with that one.
nonetheless, I think that's it for today. So thank you all so much for rolling with us. We really enjoyed our time with you. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks, same time Saturday, 8 p.m. Central. Until next time, everyone, okay? Bye!
Boy.
Boy!